time. Love, and I'm sure people will start coming in. All right, we are live now. Yay! Well, I'm excited tonight. We are having Julie Parker back again. She was here, I believe, a couple weeks ago before Christmas, right, Julie?
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. And tonight we were supposed to have her partner Theon. Let me see. We are having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be issue on Facebook's end. Is it possible the stream was ended and deleted on Facebook? Well, I didn't delete it. Well, keep trying and let you know when it's resolved. Okay, that's fine. I think this is just okay. Let me just kind of edit that. Get that back on. All right. Okay, so we're just fixing a little bit minor problem here, minor issue, and well, we're live. We're still live. We're still on. So let me type it in just to let people know. Okay, we are live now. Please come in and share. All right. Okay, so we're on. All right, everyone. Welcome to Meet Tina. And tonight is very exciting for me because, my dear friend Julie, psychic medium, she's back here on my live talk again. And tonight we have a special talk. Julie's going to be sharing about how to communicate with the loved ones after death. She's going to be sharing some tips and technique. But before that, she has pull a card, and I think you bought a card, right, Julie? Welcome back, Julie, by the way.
Yeah, I have a gift. Someone gifted me these beautiful cards. They're spirit animal oracle cards by Colette.
Wow.
And they're just gorgeous. Spirit animal.
Wow. Okay. And so you pull a card.
I pulled a card for our show tonight and for a message from spirit guides. So this would be for all of us, right?
Nice. Of course. Yes. Thank you. So let's share what you got. I can't see that well, but let me see.
Kind of like it is the wombat spirit. Now, I don't know anything about wombats, and I'm going to have to read up on wombats. But what this is saying is be at home. And this little guy, he's very fuzzy and cuddly looking, and he's got a crown on his head. Little tiara and little feathers, and it's green. And so when I look at this card, what it's telling me is about projecting into the new year as well. Do the things that make you feel like you are at home. Do the things that are comfortable for you, and be in a place of comfort. Like when you're at home, you're comfortable, you feel safe. So you can be at home, but it's not saying be at home all the time. It's be at home wherever you go and whatever it is you're doing. So for this show tonight, and I'm talking with my friend Tina, I feel like I am at home. So I am at home, but I'm also at home doing this kind of thing, talking to people.
Oh, how wonderful.
So that's where my power is, and that's where your power is, and that's where everyone who's listening, that's where your power is being at home wherever you are with whatever you're doing, having that comfort level. I just love it.
And I think what it means also, it does not matter where you are at. Mm-hmm. You are going to feel at home all the time. It doesn't matter what you do. Either you're working or it doesn't matter. Even if you do things that you are not, it's not, what you want to do, you're still going to be able to feel at home.
You can find a way to feel at home. And if you don't feel at home, then maybe it's time to find something else to do where you do feel at home.
Wow. That's awesome. Let me actually kind of edit this destination again. So, Julie, when you said feel at home, I want you to kind of give example of what's going on with your life right now, because this is like a new year. This is like a card of messages for you. Starting from 2024. And I know we're just beginning to have this live show at the beginning of the year. what would that be a messages for you, truly? Is like for you to be focusing on doing what you're doing right now with this kind of work, communicating with the spirit?
Yes, definitely doing this. And I'm actually working because I have multiple things that I do to make money, and I do that from home. So being at home to work, that's a layer of meaning for me, but also just being at home with what I do. So I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm not trying to compare myself with other people and what they're doing and what they're accomplishing, because that's their home. I need to
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
so being
Wow.
at home in my own skin, being at home in my own body, being home in what I do. So there's a comfort level. I feel safe doing it. It's something I love. It's something that empowers.
Wow, that's powerful. Wow, powerful. Well, I just want to say hello to everyone who's tuning in right now. Just go ahead and say hello to us. Well, hello to well, nice, all these beautiful heart that you're sending to Julie and I. Thank you. Yes. For those who are tuning in, please go ahead and say hello. Go ahead, type in where you are tuning in from. Love to hear and love to know where you are listening from. So, Julie, today we are going to be sharing some tips and techniques, right?
Yes.
You are okay. Let's share what you're going to share today. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for one thing, if, gosh, there's so many things to say. Where do I want to start with this? It's pay attention. So if you've lost someone that you love, someone who has died, it can be particularly difficult, at the holidays. And
Yes.
and this
Mm-hmm.
is a good time to like really open your eyes and your ears and your mind and listen for those subtle communications that you may get from the people that you're missing. And not just
Mm-hmm.
holidays, but all year long. And
Yes.
types of communications, they can come completely unannounced, completely by surprise. And the problem that a lot of us may have when we get these kind of communications from our loved ones is that we may dismiss it and say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was just a dream, or oh, it's just a butterfly, or oh, that was my imagination. And that is the one thing that you can do that will shut down any other communications or further communications from your loved one. So stay open to it and pay attention to your heart. And what does it feel like when you got a particular sign or this dream, or you had this vision, or you may have heard someone talking to you, in your mind, or you were laying in bed at night and you just had this feeling of the energy of the person, or maybe you smelled their perfume. Don't dismiss.
Mm-hmm.
The more open you stay to that, the more likely you're going to get more. And
Mm-hmm.
you need to ask for it too.
So you need to ask for it. What would be a good example? I'm going to ask the audience, okay, for those who are listening, who are tuning in right now. Do you have anyone in your family or who you know in your life who have passed on and you would like to communicate tonight or today or this moment? Because Julie, besides sharing the tips and technique of how to communicate with loved ones, those who passed away, your family or your friends or who, people who you know in your life, but Julie probably gonna be doing drawing and connecting to the loved ones. So one of you may be a lucky one today who get reading. So if you're interested, type in if you have any loved ones that passed on and you would like to have Julie connect with them. So hello everyone. So now Julie, throughout your practice, what are the best method or the first method that you are learn how to connect with the loved ones
Well, the
or
first
spirits? Yes.
informal training for mediumship, the first method that I learned was, but first you've got to be able to go into a state of meditation and to calm your mind in order to hear or to see the deceased. So for people who don't meditate, they don't take the time to calm their mind, they don't take the time to come into peace within themselves and when they're within their hearts, it's going to be a lot harder for them to hear from their loved ones. One of
Mm,
prime power times for hearing from loved ones or connecting with spirit is when I'm in bed, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I am in that very calm, peaceful state. And this is when I pray, and this is when I connect and merge with my higher source, is when I'm in bed. And this
Mm-hmm.
I am most open to communication. And I have a little notebook, and I'll just write things down. And sometimes I get messages for other people just out of the blue, and they're, friends of mine, and I'll email them or text them and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I got this for you. And
Wow, wow, wow. Guys, those who are tuning in right now, just now that when Julie's sharing about what she get messages, I'm going to show you something, guys. She did this drawing for me. I think it was maybe a little over a year ago, right, Julie? This picture. Okay. I'm going to show to the audience. Okay. Everyone take a look at this two picture. She mailed it to me just, out of the kindness. I didn't know Julie when I first met her. And okay, guys, she may be doing this drawing tonight, so you may be the lucky ones. And Jay Barton said she's from Ohio. And Davy said, your father, Spirit, said he tried to come and talk to me. Cool. Well, let's see who's going to come through tonight. But anyway, I just want to briefly show the drawing. This one is the drawing that I've been showing to several of my students. And Julie, you remember this. I never talked to you. Right. I interviewed you the first time, I think it was way back in 2020. Yes. Before I went to Thailand that time, in that year. No, 2022. 2022. I got you on the interview. And check out, guys. Julie came on live. And before she came on, she said, hey, Tina, I'm start drawing your energy. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Didn't think anything. This is before we went on live. And she said, you have any connection with the dragon? I'm like, okay, well, yes, I did, but I didn't want to tell her anything. I was just like, okay, what do you got? What do you got for me? And she said, your mom's spirit is right next to you. So there's a little tiny orb here. Can anyone see this? Right, Julie? She said, your mom is next to you, and she doesn't know. You didn't know that my mom passed.
No.
Nope. Yes. Hello, Anna. And sorry to hear about your mom. Anna's mom passed about 2 years ago. All right.
Oh.
So tune in, guys. I'm just sharing my experience that I had with Julie, with her drawing. Amazing. She said, did your mom pass? I said, yes. Well, she's right next to you. So she drew this. I hope everyone can see. Can you see it, Julie?
Yeah, I can see it pretty clearly. Very clear.
Cool. Can everyone see that? Just type 1. All right. Now, she mentioned about dragon, and I thought to myself, wow, why would someone draw about dragon? But I did have connection with the dragon, which I'm going to share later on. So she drew this cloud, and she started showing me and telling me about the dragon, and me sitting on the cloud, and my mom's spirit is right next to me. Well, guys, I never shared this with anyone in my life before, and now I've been sharing quite a bit to my students. Yes, absolutely 100%. I had connection with dragon because when my mom was just 8 years old, she shared with me that during that time, she literally saw the dragon up in the cloud. That was 8 years old. And when she told her dad, my grandfather said, do not tell anyone or ever repeat this word again because they're going to put you in the cuckoo home. My mom never talked after that. And when she turned about maybe 14 and 15, my mom never gone to school. She saw the calendar and she saw the dragon. And she said, oh, that's what I saw on the cloud when I was about 8 years old. But, she never shared with anyone until, she found out that when I was about maybe 15 years old, I was really into metaphysics. I study religion. I study a lot. And we just started talking, and she started sharing me about her seeing the dragon when she was 8 years old. And I never forgot. And, I never believed my mom during that time. I thought she was like, Mom, are you sure you saw that? She said, yes. I mean, are you really, really sure? And throughout my years growing up, I always used to ask her because I was like, did she imagine things? And now when I look back, she did tell me she did experience that because, all my students used to ask me, like, Tina, how did you get into metaphysics? And when I look back, there's so many things that my mom did. We would call it metaphysical stuff nowadays, right? But she didn't know what it was. She did a lot of those rituals that I was like, oh my God. So anyway, just make it short. When Julie drew this image, first thing she said, my mom's spirit right next to me. And my mom was showing me her, Julie, the dragon,
And the
on the
cloud.
cloud.
Mhm.
Guys, what do you think? If you think this is an amazing reading from Julie, please type 8, because number 8 is an empowerment. Is absolute power to me. I was like, it's an infinity number. Julie, I was shocked and I'm
I
impressed.
I have to say I was shocked too, because to be honest with you, I've done a lot. I do a lot of connecting with people, and I just start drawing and something will come out. But it's the first time I had experienced something like that, where it was purely spirit communication.
Wow,
And
really? Hmm.
yeah, it was the first time where I'd done it, where it's because I would do, regular readings that way, like what's going on in their life. And sometimes the spirit will come through, but never anything like that.
Well,
And
yeah, that's like a mythical drawing to me. The first time you did was this one, you
yeah,
know, and so that was more like a regular reading to me, right?
right.
And it was all correct. The information you gave to me was all correct. However, this blew my mind because this is not something anyone would talk about, and
It,
that's an absolute connection I have with my mom. That would confirm that's evidential. That's evidential that you truly connect to the spirit, to my
yeah,
mom's spirit,
and it
hands
was so
down.
interesting because to me, because when I was doing it, usually I'll go to like a quiet space and I'll start drawing. But this time, you and I, we were just like this. We're talking, and I'm
Yeah,
drawing and not thinking about what I'm drawing. We're just talking, and this started coming out.
yeah, we were just chatting before the live talk started, and she said, I remember you said, I got a drawing, I'm drawing your energy, I'm seeing something, I'm picking up something. I go, okay, that's cool. Wasn't thinking anything. But everyone, guys, this picture, this image confirmed she has connected with my mom, because I never talked to anyone about my mom experience. Never. It's been a while. My mom used to see a dragon with her own eyes when she was 8 years old. This is not something she would share with anyone but her grandfather, and her grandfather told her not to say it anymore, not to ever repeat again, because they'll think she's crazy and put her in a cuckoo home. So she never did. And even when she shared with me growing up, I didn't believe her for the longest time. And until later on, after she passed in 2006, I look back and I realized a lot of things my mom experienced was very, very spiritual, very magical. She was doing a lot of stuff, ritual that's very, very esoteric. And I never thought about that, until now. So, guys, that's how amazing Julie Parker was when
Oh,
she drew this image. I What it did to me, Julie, it gave me such a comfort,
hmm.
to know that my mom, after she passed, she's still with me.
She is still with you. She
She's
is.
still with me all this time. Well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Lada. Thank you. She said Happy New Year to both of you, to Julie as well.
Thank
Yes.
you. New Year.
Julie, I have this student, Lada. She's on live right now. She lives in Los Angeles. No, actually up in San Francisco, and she's a massage therapist. And guess what happened to her? She's able to communicate with a fetus, little baby inside the mom's womb. So
Really?
she's a the clients. She's been attracting a lot of psychologists who are
What?
pregnant. Yeah.
Oh, That's amazing.
Yeah. So Lotta, I just want to tell you, Julie is also a psychologist. That's her another job in the third world, 3D.
The
But
3D, I teach psychology. I have a
you
PhD.
teach psychology. Yeah. Oh, that's even more amazing, for you to be doing this work also.
Yeah,
But this lady, she's able to communicate with a little bit. I mean, that was amazing story when she shared with me. But anyway, back to you, Julie. Uh, so you said this is the first time you actually drew this kind of drawing with my experience.
that was purely mediumship and from spirit. It was the first one like that.
Wow.
And since then I've done a couple, but it was more of a combination of, a regular reading, what was going on in the person's life, but then also spirits came through in the drawing too with specific.
Wow. So this is I'm going to show again for those who just step in, who just join this talk. This is the picture and image Julie drew for me a year ago. And Julie didn't know me. I mean, I never talked to Julie personally about my life. None, zero, zilch, And she mentioned about my mom's spirit right next to me because she saw her orbs, her energy. And I was like, okay, anyone can say that. Anyone who claimed to be a psychic medium can say that. Because I'm very, very skeptical. I have to make sure that I get, the right messages. And when she asked me about if I have connection with the dragon, I'm sure you probably wonder, like, oh my God, did I get it right? Right? Because who would have asked those questions?
Right. I'm like, there's a dragon tail coming out of this cloud, and I don't know what it means, but there's a dragon tail.
Exactly. Most people, would be like, but the minute you said dragon, my ears just perked up, but I didn't say anything. And I said, okay, what else you got? Because first she got my mom's spirit next to me. And then when she said a dragon, I put the two and two together. I go, okay, I wonder what she's going to get next. And when she said, this is the cloud, you're sitting on the cloud, and then the tail's pointed up, right? And you got an image right here, which I never asked you. This is like a bird, like what is it, Julie? You remember?
It was like the phoenix. I think that's more than just the dragon. That was the phoenix, about rising from the ashes.
Wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are the phoenix.
This is amazing. Yes, because I have gone through rising from the ash in the way, because I almost died, with the COVID. But what really, really wowed me was the connection with the dragon, which my mom used to see a dragon when she was young, which, I just shared that with the audience. So this confirmed 100% that my mom was with me. Julie truly, truly connected with my mom's spirit. That's evidential, because nobody knew about it. It took me years to even believe my own mom that she actually saw the dragon walking on the cloud. When you drew this cloud for a reason, because she looks up when there's lightning. She said it was raining that time, and I think she was living in Thailand at the moment, and the king of Thailand, I think number 8, just passed away. So there was a lot of rain and lightning, and when she saw lightning flash into her eyes, so she looks up, and then she saw a dragon walking on the cloud. So you got the cloud here, young lady here. You got the cloud. And that's why I'm like, oh my God, Mom, you are here.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. Yes.
That's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite connection with the spirit ever, because of
wow.
It was just so unexpected. I wasn't thinking. It just like came through on the paper. It was cool.
I mean, people were talking about, like, okay, how do you prove it? How do you prove it if you really truly communicate with a person who passed away? What kind of evidence you have? And a lot of people in this field, in this practice, would always talk about evidential, right? Yeah. So being a great medium, you got to have some sort of evidence that's confirmed, like 100%. And I'm telling you, Julie, this is 100% for me. Because first you didn't know that my mom passed. You just asked me, like, okay, I saw a spirit and she mentions your mom. Your mom's still alive? I said, no, she passed. And then the second one is a dragon. and the third one is a cloud, you know. And so that to me was not a long reading, but short but precise. You hit the dart, you know. You just to me, I'm like, wow, Julie, you need to come out and let people know about you. So I'm just going to ask the audience, who would like to get a reading from Julie? Put number 1. In the meantime, Julie, go ahead and share with audience the tips and technique that you can share with the audience, how to communicate with the loved ones. You know, you mentioned about through dreams, through sounds, through music. Oh, okay. We get several people who would like to have Julie do the drawing. She's probably going to be drawing draw the flowers that's going to be connecting to your loved ones. All right, put number 1, guys, and we're going to see which one's going to get lucky tonight. But anyway, Julie, let's go ahead and talk about the techniques or little tips that you can share with the audience. You know, how do they know if the loved one comes in? How do they know if they get it correctly?
They will feel it. You will feel it in your heart. So the first thing I recommend is just really practice your meditation, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. And very helpful if you do it the same time, like if you do it before bed even, or if you do it when you first get up in the morning, and just take that time and go into your heart. The way to connect with spirit is through your heart and through love. So breathing in through your heart, breathing love in through the heart, imagining your loved one and breathing light and love into your loved one, and asking them to give you a sign or to come to you into a dream, and now, or to communicate with you while you're in bed at night, if that doesn't scare you, you know, if you feel comfortable with that.
Do anyone get scared to have a
Yeah.
spirit come into your bed at night?
Well,
They just show up.
they'll talk to you. You know, they'll talk to you in your mind, or you might hear their voice or smell their perfume. And so when you think about it, you ask for it, you put energy into that, but don't get overly attached to it, because if you start obsessing about it, you get overly attached to it, you can block communication. So just ask, do your meditations, learn to quiet your mind, and let it go. And let it go. And if there's some kind of sign, something that reminds you of your loved one, you can specifically ask for that, for the sign of, and pay attention to what you're thinking about or what's going on at the time you hear that, see or hear that sign. So it could be, I'll give you an example. My brother just had one. He'd never had one before.
Okay.
And I think he was curious about it, and he can be a little bit skeptical, but he knew 100%. It was his best friend. He's known him since he was a child. Best friend recently died. And he's driving. He drives a big truck for a living. So he's driving the truck, and he was just thinking like about them. Like, can you give me a sign you're okay? That, are you okay? And are you with your wife? And at that moment, he said, just out of the blue, there were 2 butterflies just outside the truck, you know, and he's driving and down the highway, and they're right there in the middle of the road, right next to his windshield. And they were, you know, interacting with each other like this. And in that moment, he just knew. It just struck him right in the heart. It happened just as he was asking for it, as he's been thinking about them, and specifically about them being together. And there it was. And so he called me up. He said, Julie, this happened. And I know that it was a sign from them. There's just no other explanation for me. You know?
Wow. So I'm going to ask the audience, have any one of you ever have communicated with the loved ones, with spirits, you know, those who passed away? Go ahead and type number 2 if you have. Love to hear that from the audience, you know.
I bet there are many people who have had these experiences. And you know, signs are a very common way, but there's many other ways that you can hear from your loved ones too.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and share other ways too that you can hear your loved ones. usually the butterflies will represent spirit, right? And hummingbirds. I mean,
Um,
that's for me.
and cardinals are a big one. And for me, it's a monarch butterfly. For a while, I would see a monarch, which is that orange and black butterfly.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
At my birthday, like on my birthday, and there was like a special meaning for that for me. And so it was also a favorite butterfly of my father. So it was like that connection I had with my father through the monarch butterfly. And on my birthday, I would see the monarch, and I knew that it was a little sign from him telling me happy birthday.
Wow.
And, simple things like that. Now, the other day, actually, right before Christmas, I had a communication from him, and this was a little, more profound, but I'm laying in bed and I'm relaxed, and my eyes are closed, and I'm not thinking about him at all. I mean,
Yes.
there was suddenly a vision just opened up, and there he was, and I'm looking up at him, and there's this light behind him, and the light was so bright that I literally could see the light reflecting off of his face.
Wow.
He smiled.
Yes.
It wasn't like a toothy smile. It was a closed mouth smile. And it just, exuded this love. And I'm like, well, hey, Dad. And then it's gone.
Amazing. You see, when we passed on, we never really dies. We just lose this clothing, this body,
This
right?
body. Exactly.
And we just move on in different dimension.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Julie. So Davy said, I asked for signs from my parents, and birds flew toward me. I see golden sparks flashing in front of me at work, kind of similar to what you got to with the spark of lights. Beautiful.
Yeah. Seeing spiritual energy. He's seeing the energy.
So he saw the energy. So Davy, you saw the energy of your parents, Kate of you said that is so beautiful. Julie Daher said, I was meditating on the anniversary of Dad's death, and my sister passed a few years previously. 2 deer ran by me once, turned and came back again. Wow, Julie, thank you for sharing. That's absolutely beautiful what you just shared. Definitely, those are spirit. They may have come into the body of the deer too, I think.
Yeah. Animals can communicate through animals. There's no doubt.
Animals would be a great way. My mom loved hummingbirds. I remember through my teenage year at this home, she always put the hummingbirds' feet in the backyard all around. So there's always used to be a lot of hummingbirds coming around to eat the sweets. And when she passed by, I remember I went walking at the park, and all of a sudden, all this cute hummingbird just flew right in front of me. Julie, it's probably like 6 inches away from my eyes.
Oh wow!
I mean, there's no, and looking at me, I can actually see the hummingbird's wings, like in a slow motion.
Oh wow!
And just staring at my eyes. And I said, and I was walking, and I stopped, and I said, "Hey, Mom, is that you?" I was like, "Oh, Mom, is that you?" Because I mean, you would never think or ever seen a hummingbird just stop and pause and slow down its wings, the flapping, and just staring at me.
Right. See,
I would say for about a good 2 minutes. And that's a long time for a hummingbird to do that. Yes. And I know she has a connection with the hummingbird. She loves them, and yeah.
Right.
So
and you just knew. And so it's something that happens that's unusual. It's the timing of it. It's the way that it happens. And you just know it hits you in your heart. And what a sad thing it would be if you just dismissed it and said, oh, it's just a hummingbird.
Right.
No, it's not just a hummingbird.
Yes. So, yes, for those of you who have this sort of experience, do not, like what Julie just said, do not dismiss it. That is just an animal or just that, just like you feel it. Like the first thing that you feel is in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's the loved one who came in to say hello to you. And I think when we start doing this often, you start to get into this habit of communicating and connecting with them, right, Julie? I mean,
Right.
from your experience. Hmm.
Right. And sometimes these things can happen through what's called an apport, an APPORT. It's called an apport. And
Hmm.
that's some kind of materialization from the spirit world. So if you find a lot of dimes, for example, or find a lot of pennies in unusual places, you're like, where did that come from? One way that spirits will communicate is by leaving you coins, like in unusual places. I had a friend, she would find them everywhere, and her little girl would find them everywhere, dimes. And it's something that her father had said, I'll leave
Hmm.
dimes, before he died. And so and there was one day she just opened the car door. No one had been in the car. She had just cleaned her car, opened the car door. There's a dime sitting right there on the seat of the car.
Oh,
And feathers is another one. I have another friend.
feather. A lot of people experience that. I want
Yeah.
to ask the audience who has experienced any of those. You
That, yeah,
know,
I would love to know that. And Theon just had one who she was going to be on the show with us, our friend
yeah,
Theon.
she couldn't make it today. She was supposed to come on today, guys. Supposed to be two of them that came on last time, a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen, this is the first time you experience Julie, please go back to, I have it on my YouTube, meeting on YouTube. Let's go back to their video. Amazing talk. That one was fun
Oh,
talk that we did.
that,
Yes.
that
Yes.
was,
And Theon was on, sometimes they work together, the duo, psychic
yeah,
medium. But today, Theon wasn't able to make it. Her son, was in the hospital, but he came out the hospital already. Everything's fine. We're
yeah.
gonna do some prayer and healing for him too. But
And
really amazing at what the talk they did last time. So, by the way, Julie's gonna be coming on here, every month and share her knowledge and share her services. If you want to connect with her, Julie, go to her website. I will post it under description, or even contact me if you want to connect with Julie. And let's say if you don't get to get your drawing tonight, you can connect with her directly and just ask for a personal service, because I'm telling you, this is well worth it. Worth it. And I usually not a kind of person who keeps any kind of drawing of paper with me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a hoarder. So but this one, when she sent to me, I mean, I even kept the one that she sent to me, through the web. I kept it for a long time, and I even share with some of my students. Uh, and this one really touched my heart, because I knew for sure it's a confirmation from my mom. And I'm not someone who believes anything easily. I need to have proof all the time. Even though I'm a metaphysical teacher, I need proof, and it has to be a solid proof. And Julie has given me a solid proof with this picture. Doesn't have to be much, but that's like strong evidence for me. So you guys, would you like to connect with Julie? Definitely connect with me, or I'll post it under description. So let's move on with, what you are sharing with us, the items that they would find.
right. Well, I'll tell you what happened with Theon. Theon just had this, her son in the hospital, and she's sick too. She is
Oh,
not going to
wow.
test to see if she has COVID. But it was New Year's Day. She sent me a picture. She sent me a text. She said, "Look what I just found," and it was
Mm,
a white feather about
wow.
this long, and it was right on her patio. And when she saw it, she picked it up. She knew that it was a message from spirit.
Yes.
It was a
Because feather is not something you're going to find that often.
no.
No.
She's never seen any kind of big white bird like in her yard or around. She's never found anything like that. But just like as soon as she walked out, there it was. It was a white feather. And white feathers can be signs from angels, not just your.
Has anyone ever seen a white feather? I mean, I got this Julie, the audience here. Her name is Julie also. Julie the her. She said the first year my dad passed, I had over 50 feathers in my path that first year. Wow, that's a
There,
lot.
and that's how you know you're just walking and like boom, there. It's not easy to find feathers.
No, you don't see that. I mean, sometimes you don't even see for a few years, and
Exactly.
for you, Julie Daher, you saw 50 feather in 1 year. That's definitely a confirmation from your dad.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
congratulations for pay attention
I would
and
say
yeah.
that, especially if you find something unusual like a hawk feather or an owl feather, or like Theon with that white, it's like this long, this white feather.
Wow. Wow. So we got another audience. KW said that 2 times I heard my mom's voice. It wasn't out loud, but not in my head either. It's hard to describe. I totally get you.
I
Uh yes. Have you heard that, Julie? Because I heard my own mom call my name. Yes.
all the time. I mean, and the way I hear it, it's in different places. I'll hear it. It feels like it's like right in my ear.
Yes.
And sometimes it sounds like it's right outside my ear, or
Mm-hmm.
hear it in different places in my head. So it might be in the center of my head or on one side of my head, but it's definitely not my own thought. It's and you can hear, so,
Well, we know it. You know deep inside you're not imagining or thinking,
right,
you know?
not saying internally. It's like you're listening to it, like it's something it just came on the radio, or you just heard him on the phone, or heard it through an earbud, and you can recognize the sound of the voice.
Yep.
So you
Absolutely.
you can just pay attention to what your own internal voice sounds like, and you're just speaking to yourself silently. You know what that sounds like. It's something completely different when you hear.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think everybody can communicate with anyone as long as we pay attention. Michelle Murray said that she got a lot of pennies, feathers, robins, lights on and off hair tickles on top of my head.
Oh
Interesting. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
that's a
Yes.
crown chakra. Yeah,
Yes,
there's
the crown chakra.
crown chakra.
Wow. And then physically see them come down from a height of 7 feet out of nowhere, white feather.
Wow,
Amazing. See,
that's
you
an
guys have experience already. You guys are pro already.
it's amazing how many people have these experiences, and so many people are afraid to talk about it because other people may discount it, or they
Yes.
will them, or they'll think they're weird or whatever. But I think just about everybody
You know
has.
what? I'm telling you, Julie. I mean, years ago, I'm sure you've been on this path for a long time, right? I have been here. I have been in metaphysics for a long time. And I remember back then, even just about 10, 15 years ago, talking about spirit, talking about even angels or UFO aliens or any sort of this topic, or even psychic medium. Uh, People would just look at you like, what are you talking about? You're weird or weirdo, right? I
Yeah.
mean, but now it's so different. There's been such a big shift.
Yeah, people's minds are opening up. People are exposed to a whole lot more on the internet, and they're you have the paranormal shows on TV, but also
Right,
people are opening up and they're
right.
having own experiences. And there is nothing like having your own experience to shift your worldview into knowing. It's not just about belief. Then there is something more than just what we see, hear, taste, and smell with our 3D senses. There is
Exactly.
there is another dimension, and consciousness lives on after death.
Exactly. So there's no fear to death, guys. Anyone has fear of death? Raise your hands. Number one. Yeah, because there's no such a thing as, just death or gone.
Follow
Let me
the
see. Yes.
light. When you die, follow the light.
Mhm. Wow. Michelle, you get a lot of good experience here. She said, walking into the church door on mom's funeral, white feather floated down in front of my son.
That's an
And she said, what? And now
that's,
he sees it and he believes it.
yeah.
Wow, Michelle, you got a lot of good experiences here.
These are
Awesome.
these are apports. Now, Michelle may have some natural mediumistic ability too, because
Yes, absolutely.
apports, and this is actually a materialization, where these objects will materialize and come down. And
Well,
so,
she's probably open to it too, very much, very open, and she's observant. She
uh,
pays attention to, right, Michelle? So that's why you're experiencing all this. Yes, loads. She got a lot of experiences. Bravo to you. Congratulations. And for those who are listening, just because if you never experience anything doesn't mean that you never will. I think if you have interest, definitely take up some study to it. Julie, you do offer classes too, right? Mm-hmm.
not at this time, but Theon is offering classes.
Yeah, definitely. She said she could write a phone book. Awesome, awesome. So now, Julie, what else? We move on with the operation, and then the dreams, right? The dreams that come.
Dreams. And how do you know that it's a visitation and not just a dream? Right?
Good point. How do you know?
Yeah, you can dream about your loved ones and it's not a visitation, or you can have a visitation dream. And I bet there are plenty of people who are watching who have had these kind of dream visitations. And I'll tell you one way that
Hmm.
it's a visitation is there's something different about the dream. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be very powerful. It's going to be something that you will remember
Mm-hmm.
for years and
Yeah.
not forget when you wake up. And there's a feeling component with it. Every dream experience I've had and I have not had that many really, but visitations from loved ones, there was a quality to it of love where I felt
Yes,
so much love
I
that
agree.
it was unmistakable.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakable.
Wow, awesome. I had my own personal experience too, just like what Michelle said too. It's colorful, it's vivid. And
Yes.
actually, it was my own mom. She was taking me to show her home. She said, "This is my new home. It's a garden with huge flowers, and everything was so vivid. It was colorful, because most of the time the dreams are black and white, right? This is vivid color. I saw color. I can smell the fragrance." And she would say goodbye, and she would put her cheek against mine, and I woke up right away, and I can feel the coldness on my cheek. And that morning was not cold, it was summer morning. It was warm, and I opened my eyes, I felt the love, and I said, "Mom, that must be it was not just a dream."
Yeah.
Definitely, she showed me exactly the dimension that she was living at, and it was so real, and I felt the love like you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's how you know when it's the love. And and just and doing mediumship for other people, the
Mhm.
how do you know you're connecting with the spirit and you're not just reading the person psychically? Because
Good question.
yeah, because a medium can read the person psychically. And I know I've done that before. I mean, we all have done that
Yes.
before.
Uh-huh.
We're information in their energy field. There's something qualitatively different. And I don't always connect with a spirit. They're not always, I mean, it just doesn't always happen. They're I can connect psychically a lot of the times, but it's a it's a three-way process with you and your guide and the spirit, and the connection doesn't always happen. But when you
Mhm.
connect, that's how you know, is because I will feel the love. I feel the love that this person has for their loved one, and it comes right through the top of my
Now,
head.
let me ask you, you said you felt the love, right?
Yeah.
What if the past spirit didn't have a good relationship with the person who's still living? Do you
Uh-huh.
still feel the love?
I, you know, I, I'm gonna say I have had these experiences where I know I was connected with the person,
Mhm.
and I've connected with multiple people who committed suicide,
Oh, okay.
and a couple who were murdered. And that just
Yeah.
happened. because a lot of times people are seeking mediumship help
For
with,
closure.
yeah, with
Yes.
something magically like that.
Yes.
And I can feel emotions. I can feel like the unresolved emotions. I can feel sadness coming from the spirit. I can feel regret coming from the spirit.
Yeah.
I feel that need that the spirit has for their person who is still alive to forgive them.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And and resolving that which is unresolved is huge. And then the love still comes through.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
still that these other emotions that will come through, but the love still comes through. And there's a different perspective. You know, the spirit, I have found that spirits, when they pass over, they're seeing from a different perspective now.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
where there were problems in life, they're seeing a different perspective, and that love will come through that they weren't able to show in life.
Right. Is that interesting that
Yeah.
they weren't able to show when they were still living, but when they passed on, everything's being revealed, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think, this can teach us a lot of lesson though, it's just to really not to have forgiveness and to not hang on to any kind of negative feelings toward each other,
Yes, that's huge.
because you don't want to pass on from this earth and then still have the regrets
Right.
when you're on the other side and someone communicate with you, and here you are on the other side and you said, oh my god, I regretted doing this.
And when we talk about forgiveness, and this is huge, and this is something that my guides have worked with me ongoing,
Mm,
is in my own personal development. They'll show me people in my mind. Okay, now what about this person that you're angry with? And I have to process it and let things go. And so much of the time, it's based on misunderstandings,
totally. Yes.
you take things the wrong way. It's not what the person intended to hurt you, but it hurt you, and
Mhm.
hold on to it and not let it go. And then
Yeah.
it remains unresolved business, if someone dies, or karma that's going to have to be worked out later.
Yep.
So work on that now. Work on that now. And if someone does something to harm you, and you say, I can't forgive that because they did this horrible thing to harm me. Well, remember that forgiveness does not mean condoning behavior. It
Mm-hmm.
accepting the behavior. It does not mean letting them off the hook for responsibility for what they did. What
Yeah.
it is setting yourself free. It means letting go.
Totally. I agree with that. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
This is a great lessons for everyone though, because oftentimes I believe that it's because of a communication. There's a lot of misunderstanding and also the expectation or assumption that we
Yeah.
tend to do a lot in our world between each other. And we happen to hurt each other, not intentionally most of the time, but we tend to assume and we expect a person should have known that, should have known this, should have done this, should have said that, right? And,
Right.
and this caused a lot of chaos in all relationship.
Yes.
You take it with death, which is kind of sad, unresolved, and then there's karmic death, and then you're just gonna have to come back and blah blah
Thought
blah again. Hmm.
Now, remember, our brains are very limited. Our the way that we think and the biases that we have in our thinking. So you were talking about someone say, well, they should have known this, well, no, shoulda, woulda, coulda needs to be taken out of the dictionary,
Right?
because things are as they are. Always go back and ask yourself, what was that person's intention?
Yes. Always look at the pure, what their real intention from
Right.
their heart and from their mind, because oftentimes, a person says something and with the pure heart, but the other person will take it totally like opposite end,
Wrong
you
way.
know,
And there,
negatively.
and
Hmm.
again, limitation of the brain, because we have experiences and we're viewing the world and we're viewing other people's experiences through a filter of past experiences. And it's just the way the mind works.
Yeah.
But realize that is like, wait a minute. Am I being fair? Am I being realistic? And what was this person's actual intention, or am I being unfair?
I really like what you just said, Julie, about look at the intention. Because that's one main thing that many of us never look at. When it comes in all kinds of relationship,
Right.
we listen to the word, we misinterpret the meaning of the word of the person, perhaps having to do with the different in the culture, in the belief system. Culture is big. Cultural difference is big.
Yes.
And there's a lot of misunderstanding between the culture, the belief system, the way each were programmed. So there's been a lot of misunderstanding between the languages. The language is very confusing. Human language is very confusing, I think. So when we are not seeing a clear intention of the person, we tend to misunderstand their meaning. And that's what's created a lot of arguments and hatred and
not
all this.
There for years, and it's silly. I mean, when you get your, it's silly. Now, if there is someone who is intentionally trying to harm you, that's someone you just don't need to be in relationship with. If
oftentimes they don't say it. Oftentimes they won't say anything. Those who have not a good intent, they probably don't say anything.
And then you don't need to be in relationship with that person. But one of the single most important factor for happiness is positive relationships.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have to work hard at. And and unfortunately that the understanding and the closure doesn't happen until after the person has died. And then sometimes it doesn't happen. And you have this big.
So why do we have to wait until the person passed away?
Why do we have to until the person passes away and then start missing them and appreciating them for who they are?
Right. It's always ending up like that, right, everyone? I mean, is that true? You guys agree with that? We tend to appreciate or have this deep realization after a person die. Yeah.
And then all the regrets, and I wish I would have this, or wish I had said this, or wish I had let go of this. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
My God, that's huge. I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have spent more time with this person. I wish I would have communicated with this person more.
Yes.
Right. Wow. That's huge. And I hope this is a great learning, a great lesson for everyone though, Julie, about the lesson that we can learn from the loved ones. Now, besides the dream, what else? What other technique and tips that you want to share with the audience in terms of how the loved ones connect with them?
Yeah. Well, I think when you're in bed at night is a really good opportunity to just relax, because this is when you get into that in-between state. When you're in bed at night, you're more open to see or to hear, like in your mind. And people have the ability to see with their eyes, like the person who was talking about the sparkles, or seeing orbs or things like that. And some people can see a full-bodied apparition. But being able to just communicate in your mind, or hear the thought, or hear the voices coming through your mind, where in those relaxed states, this can be very helpful. And also writing. Okay. So way
I love writing. I love writing. I think writing is one of the best. Well, one of many. It's great too. Yeah.
So, I'll do drawing. Drawing is like a favorite way for me to connect sometimes.
Yes. And Julie's going to be drawing pretty soon. Or have you drawn yet? Unless you drew it already.
I haven't. But you can write, and I'll do this sometimes. I'll just write. So if I feel like I'm making a connection and information's just coming through, sometimes I'll just write it down. And you can do that too. Anybody can do that. So you go into a meditative space through your heart, connect through your heart with your loved one, and you say, do you have a message for me? Or you might ask them a question, or what do you think about this? And then just wait for that first word or that first spark of inspiration to come through your mind, and just start writing. Write,
Mm. Now
write.
I have this couple audience have this couple questions. Um, Davey said he hears voices telling him weird and bad stuff sometimes upon
Yeah,
waking up. Hmm.
yeah. That, yeah. I mean, that happens. That
What do you
happens.
think of that? What do you think of that? Hearing something that's actually bad stuff
I hear things that are bad too
when you
sometimes,
wake up in the morning, right, Julie?
or in the middle of the night. And because I said a lot of my visitations are at night. Yeah, I hear things that are bad. Sometimes I see things that are bad. And the reason is everything isn't sunshine and rainbows and butterflies on the other side. There
Mm.
there are people who have um I what word? I don't know if I want to say bad, but dark. I'm gonna say dark. There are people in life who are dark. There are people in life who have evil that works through them. So this was saying, when somebody has bad intentions, you don't need to be in a relationship with them. Okay.
Right.
Stay away.
Totally.
Protect
Yeah.
yourself. Some
Um,
people cross over, they don't cross into the light. They may remain earthbound. They're still in another dimension. Sometimes they can get through and you might hear them. And then there are also other types of entities who will say things to throw you off. When you hear something like that, tell them to get out. Tell it, that's what I do. Get out. And I'll
there
shine
you
my,
go, Dave. Yes.
I will shine
Dave,
and I will blast
perfect.
and ignore it. And do not give it a second thought. Okay. And don't let it influence you, because there
Mm.
are beings, they will try to influence people. And now we can talk about
I
things like,
agree with that. I have that experience. I have some energy that trying to influence me. And luckily in my dream I recognized it and I told that energy to get out of my dream.
yeah, it'll happen in your dream, happen where you might hear them. It may be things that you see, flashes that you see of images that you don't want to see. This comes
Yeah.
empathically. And this is, again, we talked about in that last show about protection. And this is why you need protection. So
Ah. Mhm.
are open spiritually, in terms of you are very open, where you may see or you may hear more than just the occasional communication from a loved one. You need the protections. And one of the first things you do is connect with your higher source. Use
Mhm.
prayer, use visualizations, and you need to be very firm with them that, yeah, no, I'm not putting up with this. And then and ignoring is a big part of it too. So
Nice. Yes. Yeah.
lots and lots of tips and techniques about
I
that.
know. Well, last talk, Julie shared about the certain technique of protection that she used. So you guys interest, go back into the last video that we did on the live talk. It's a whole hours on that. So it would be great for you to listen and
Yeah.
get some tips from that.
And that's really, really important. And anyone who's opening up mediumistically and is reaching out to talk with to the deceased, to talk with angels, to talk with spirit guides, listen to that show. And I'm going to be writing a book on this topic because I have so much
Yeah.
don't take it for granted. And anything that doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't smell right,
Stay away from that. Shut the door.
shut the door. Shut the
Shut the
door.
door.
Call in your angels and use prayer to your higher source, your higher power. For me, it's God, and I say God, and I say Father God, and I go directly to God, and I arm myself with God's light, and I use
Hmm.
God's light to push them out.
Perfect. That's awesome, Julie. Great advice on that one. Love that because some people still have fear, and there are energy there that's not welcome. You shouldn't welcome them into your space.
Be
So
careful,
definitely to have some protection. I'll call upon a higher power.
right?
That I yes,
And let me just give you this little piece of advice too.
yes.
People people want to connect with their spirit guides. Who are my spirit guides? What are my spirit guides' names? There's a good reason for not. I mean, you can talk with your spirit guides. You can listen for the advice from your spirit guides, but be careful about getting so wrapped up in that I need to know what they look like and I need to know what their names are. Because if you are very open, that there can be what's called false light guides that can come in, and they're not your guide. But if they start showering you with love, they start like saying all these wonderful things about you, or they're building your ego up, you better step back and close the door, because something is not right. Something is not right. And that, I learned some hard lessons. I learned some
Maybe you're gonna do a talk on that one on the next talk.
We should do a talk on false light guides. Yeah.
Hey, who wants to listen to this? How do you know if you run into a false guide, and how do you prepare for it and get rid of it? Who wants to listen to this? Well, we're gonna do it next time. Type 1, guys, if you want to listen to this. How do you know if you connected to the wrong guides or false guide or false god? You can call that.
Yeah, or falling
angel, right? Yes. If you want to listen to that, type number 1, guys, and I'm going to schedule Julie to come back and talk about that, to experience. Hey, you got 1-1 coming up here, Julie. People want to know about that. I think it's a great idea to know how do you recognize if there's a false spirit guides, God, whatever you can call. Awesome, we'll do that. So Davey, Jay Barton, awesome, they want to hear. So we'll do that. I think nobody will ever talk about that. So I think that would be a good subject.
I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about things like that, or they don't want to believe it, because it's scary. And I'm telling you, it's tricky business. It can be. And I have been on this journey, and I have learned the hard way, and I have suffered for it. And I am here to try to help other people avoid some of those.
Wow. So you suffer for that. You're going to have to share, because this is from actual experience, personal experience, and people need to know that, especially right now that a lot of people are starting to get into this spiritual experience, or connecting to their lights, connecting to their higher self. How do they know if they're truly connected to the real thing?
Right.
Exactly. I've seen people who's connected to the wrong energy before, so they change completely.
Happens more than you know, or more than you think, because it can be so insidious. And so, and I am very wary about gurus, and I've had a lot of lessons just through my guides to be careful about gurus, or people who say that they are very holy, and they have following, and they're telling you how to live your life, because they they can give you just enough truth to suck you in, but they are a prime target for false life guides and fallen angels disguised as something else. Because
I just have to share one thing. My belief in regards to guru, I don't think this time, or this generation, or this time, it's about gurus anymore, Julie.
Good.
This is about believing and trusting that everyone is a guru of you are your own guru.
Yes,
that's what the way I see it. I think if, like what you said, if the person trying to be a guru and trying to have a lot of have people believe them and tell you what to do, and that's not right.
Ego.
You need to teach people to empower themselves. Believe in themselves, believe that now there's a lot of teaching that's telling people that each one of us is you and God and God itself.
Yes, exactly.
Believe in yourself. Yes.
Of God, we all have that connection through the heart.
Yes.
We can tap into our own inner wisdom, but you need to know who you're connecting with. If you're connecting with external, or it's not all, like I said, it's not all rainbows and butterflies and love and light. There is a balance. There is light and there is dark. and
Totally.
dark can be disguised as light. And it's
I
pretty.
totally agree with that. Totally. Totally. All right. So, Julie, it's up to the hour right now. Let's do some drawing. Are you up for a drawing?
Oh, yeah, I can do a drawing.
Who wants to be read? Raise your hand. There's many of you. There's like, a lot of you here. And we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna pick some unless you get messages and we can share what you get and if it match anyone's here, anyone's loved ones here. What do you think, Julie? How would you like to do this?
I can try. I mean, I've never
Okay.
tried it that way. I have tried it that way before.
Mm.
But with the drawing, I can just start drawing something, I guess, and just see what comes.
Yes, yes. Who would like to be? I mean, I want everyone to set your intention coming from your heart, inviting your loved one to come in. And I know some loved one, they're pretty strong. They'll push through the crowd and they'll come in. And yes, I mean, Julie, Dave, everybody's raising their hands. You know what? All you do, Julie's going to start connecting to the spirit. And I want to ask you guys to go ahead, set intention from your heart, and invite your loved ones to bring messages through Julie. And Julie's going to start drawing, and when she completed her drawing, she's going to be sharing the messages, the meaning, that's connected to your loved one. And let's see which loved one's coming through tonight. Like I shared earlier, guys, for those who just step in, while Julie is drawing, I just want to share my picture here, just in case you just step in and you haven't seen this. Julie drew this for me, and not knowing me as a person, we only met maybe a couple times, but it's very like kind of distant, never have a talk. And she didn't know anything about me at all, zero. And when she drew this for me, it's 100% confirmation. So with this said, I just want to share with you guys, this is the drawing that Julie did for me. It's powerful because this is the connection with my mom's spirit. She actually saw my mom's spirit, which is the orb right here. And she mentioned about the dragon, which my mom, just may sound crazy to some of you, but my mom saw a dragon when she was, physically saw the dragon, literally saw the dragon in the cloud when she was 8 years old. But she never talked about sins because my grandfather told her not to say anything to anyone because, nobody believed her. And when Julie drew this picture, I was like, wow. Isn't that amazing, guys? This is absolutely beautiful picture. And it's not just being beautiful, but there's tons of messages in this image that she drew for me. And I just felt love coming from my mom, who came through her, through this drawing. That is 100%, it's evidential, 100% confirmation for me. Love it, So I want the audience to just go ahead and connect to your loved ones, right? Connect through your loved ones, okay? And just ask them, invite them to come through Julie drawing. And one of you will be a lucky one. Julie's going to be drawing and share who she's connecting with, all right? So anyone ready? Type 1 if you're ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to see the picture. I'm ready to see who's going to get connected. And you think you are going to be connected with your loved ones. All right. Some people, cool. I see the hands up. I see some 111. There you go.
I've just started, somebody's coming through. I just started drawing this girl's face. She's fairly young.
Okay.
And it feels like it may be somebody's girlfriend, best friend. She's pretty young. but it feels like there's somebody who is still very, and I can show you what her face, this just kind of automatically, and there's something about the nose. I don't know if there's a nose ring or if it just came out that way, but.
Wow. Okay. Does this resonate with anyone here? A young girl spirit, right? What is her age?
She might be in her 20s, or she's a young adult. Yeah, I want to say early 20s. It just kind of feels early 20s. And there's somebody who's holding on to her really tight. Okay? And she's saying love never dies, and it's okay to start releasing the grip a little bit. So there's someone who's holding themselves back, because one of the next things I drew is like a huge sun in the sky, and there's this airplane, and it's like, get on the airplane and go. So it's like, move on with your life. If there's an opportunity to travel, do it. Go. Have some new experiences, because this person feels like they're just being held back, and they're being held back maybe through their grief, held back through having doubts, having doubts about what happened. But there's just something just tragic. There's the relationship. It's very sad. It's very tragic. This person has just been left in a whirlwind, and it's just holding on a little too tight to this person who has died.
We have an audience here. Julie, her said, can I see that picture again?
They're saying, I also wrote down here, don't stop looking backwards. Stop looking backwards. It's time to look forward and move into a new day. And there's a positivity about this, because this airplane, which is, it doesn't necessarily mean traveling airplane. It's like moving on with your life. It's coming out of like the darkness. And you know how when you're in an airplane and you can look on one side and you can see it's night on one side, but you can look over where the sun is coming up. It's like it's moving towards that sun, the new day, the new dawn, and let yourself do that. And don't doubt. Stop doubting. Stop doubting yourself, and stop doubting that this person is with you. So, yeah, this is just a real quick, like, little sketch that came out. But what came for me first was like bangs. She has these bangs, and it's dark hair. She has these dark bangs that come down. And then she's got this straight hair that comes like this. And the face, it just comes down kind of slim by her chin. And she's young. I mean, she died before her time. When you think when you die in your old age, she's definitely died.
Did she share how she passed? Okay, there's Julie putting her picture. Does this resonate with anyone in here? It could be even anyone who watched this video afterward too, who knows, because yes.
Because we just left this wide open. It feels like, let me see how she passed. I feel like she was sick. Like there was some kind of sickness. That she had this chronic illness is what it feels like.
Okay, if it resonates to anyone, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask Julie. And how old was she when she passed away?
It feels like she was young, like she could have been in her early 20s or late teens. It's hard for me with the age, but she's in that younger age frame. Could have been somebody's sister. I don't know. But there's this bond that is there is this bond that is somebody who is really grieving and having a hard time letting go. They're really holding on tight to her.
So Julie said, my sister passed at 42.
I don't think, she feels younger than 42 when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anyone has connection with this drawing at all, go ahead and review yourself if you like to. Then Julie will be able to connect with this young spirit a little more further to get more information, because there could be some sort of uh, closure that's needed with this young girl. That's why she came through. She had a long-term illness. Yeah.
And it's, letting go. And it could be someone who hears this, but it's somebody who needs to hear it, and somebody to hear that they can start releasing the grip, because they're holding on tight, so tightly, that this isn't good for them. This is not good for the person who is still here.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, Julie, the audience here, do you still have an issue holding on to this passing? Because a spirit may be showing, the time when they were young too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a reason why they show, even though she passed at 42. But I would like to find out if there's some sort of this feeling, even after her passing, that she left a young daughter. Ooh, okay. So could that be a picture of her daughter, or is there some sort of a strong attachment of her passing or not letting go? Is that what you meant, Julie?
Yeah, there's a very strong attachment, and where it's not necessarily healthy for the person who's left behind, that they're holding on so tight that they're holding back in their own life. So yeah, and so which the message is, it's okay to loosen your grip, because love never dies, and they're there regardless. But don't hold your own life back because of
What
it.
about the little daughter, the young daughter? So I'm going to ask the audience. Her name's also Julie. That's funny because you two have the same name, Julie. Julie the her. Okay, Julie the audience. How's her daughter's doing right now? Is she still holding on? Could be either Julie the her herself or her daughter. She said, I keep the picture of her in her 20s in my living room.
Oh,
Okay.
that it may be. I mean, does she have any resemblance? I mean, I know this is a real quick.
Yeah, that's what you want to see the picture. So if you want to put in a center, maybe you have to cover your face too, Julie, in order just to see clearly. Yes.
Can you see
So
it?
there you go, Julie the her. That's the picture that Julie just drew of this young girl. Well, teenage. Well, yeah, in the 20s. That's what she meant. And a
Yeah,
picture in the living room.
she's showing herself in her 20s. I
Right.
mean, like 20s to me. And there's like what I'm noticing is almost like that heart-shaped face, because it comes down slim. Right
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well,
there.
they said that in the spirit world, oftentimes even if you pass at the older age, they still will show you when they're in their young 20s and 30s.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Um, yeah. So let me see if I can get something else from this. It's a new day. What's coming through is just the message about somebody that's holding on a little
Oh,
too.
wow. This is so cool. Julie, the audience said she does. I try to take a picture of it and share. Oh, that would be amazing. If you can share a picture of her that would match the one that Julie just drew.
That would be.
Yeah.
And she's encouraging you to go. And what if there's a question about going somewhere or doing something, she's saying do it, to go. Don't doubt yourself, and don't doubt her, that she's still there with you. And it's a new day. It's like moving into a new dawn, and she's pushing you to do that, and to just loosen up your grip on her a little bit, because there's just something about holding on a little too tight, and it holds you back. And you
So
like,
that would be my question to Julie, the audience. Are you holding back your life? Or are you holding, what Julie,
and are you
Julie?
backward? Because she's saying stop looking backward. Stop looking backward. It's a new day. Let
Mm-hmm.
go. Like there's like somebody's just holding on to the deceased, maybe holding on to the past, and they've got to let go. And normally I'm talking about continuing bonds and maintaining those bonds with the loved one, but sometimes that can get is a little too much. It's a little too much when it affects your life and you're not stepping forward in your life, or you keep looking back and you keep holding on to the past and holding on. And it may be like the guilt and what if this and what if that, and I should have done this, or now I need to suffer because my loved one has died.
Oh, wow. So, okay, here what she just shared. She doesn't know how. Uh, she even said that she had the TV turned on when she came home over the holidays. And this has been over 20 years already. And she asked if it was her sister who passed away.
Uh,
So, Julie, obviously, it has been over 20 years now. I mean, like 20 years of her passing. And is that correct? Am I correct with that? It's been 20 years now since she passed. Um, and she seems stuck. Okay. I am not holding on to her, but I'm having a hard time with a personal choice and seems stuck. Okay.
and seems stuck. Okay. So she's saying whatever the choice is, she's saying do it. Go. I mean, if this is your loved one, if this message is for you, she's saying go. She's saying do it. Go. Go have the new experience.
Exactly. I would say that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't doubt. The message is don't doubt. Just do it. Fly into the sun. You're flying into the new day. Stop looking backward is a big part of that. Stop looking backward. You got to look forward, have the new experience, go. Do it.
Exactly.
And
So
really,
that's a lesson too, but people should just live their life.
yeah.
Live their life a little fuller.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to make a choice because it may seem risky, and you're holding on to what you know. You hold on to what you know. And what the spirit is saying is loosen up the grip. So the grip, it feels like there's it felt like a grip on her. But also loosening up the grip could be just the grip of control over your own life and future and outcome, and that fear of taking a risk.
Yeah.
So loosen the grip a little bit off of that control of your life, then it's a little bit easier to take that risk. And
So now Julie just got a confirmation here. She said, "Thank you. I'm getting that message a lot. Just need to believe."
Yeah, that's don't doubt. Here it is right here. Don't doubt.
Yes. Why? I mean,
And
why are you? Yes. Why are you just allow yourself to waste your life or waste your time away? Just trust the universe. Trust, trust what life has to offer to you, Julie. And maybe the passing of your sister would teach you, hey, we don't have much time here on this earth.
That's right.
We don't have much time on this earth. We just enjoy what you do, right?
This is going places. See, new experiences. This airplane is going places.
So you feel, Julie, the audience, do you feel that you are not, your life just a humdrum? You're not going anywhere. Your life is not moving forward. Well, you just mentioned about feeling stuck earlier, but do you think just open up a new world into your life? Add more colors into your life, add the rainbows into your life, right? Yes. Okay. Well, thanks for the love. Beautiful, Julie. We're sending you love too. Everyone's sending Julie's love. How about that? This is no accident. While listening to this, I'm sure the messages from the spirit is also messages from everyone. Is to not to be afraid, to don't doubt, and to open up your life, open up your world, and just experience life.
And if you're afraid to take a risk, sometimes it's okay to take a risk. Now, does this girl look anything like your sister, Julie?
Yeah, I want to know that, Julie.
Does it look have any resemblance to your sister?
Hmm. So my choice is to give up my professional life and follow my spiritual path.
Oh my gosh. There you go.
That is a common question among spirit, people who are spiritual, walk on this path, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, sometimes the way you do that, you have to do both for a while because
Yes, you have to do both for a while because you know what I begin to see, Julie. This is interesting. That's a good question and a good share that Julie just did. Many of us have fall into this program, the old programming that when we walk this path and do this work, we cannot survive. We cannot make enough income to support ourselves.
right.
And I think this is changing, shifting you know and I think if we do things from our heart, and like what Julie said, just doing both for a while, but I would say start doing what you love, and you can do both at the same time, right? Like what Julie's doing, what I do too, you know but I'm doing full time in my spiritual path, and I just love it. When it's the right timing, it will happen. You just have to stick to what you love.
Right. Open your heart up, open your heart up, open your heart up,
Mhm.
make your intention clear to God, to the universe, that this is my path, this is what I feel called to do, and this is what I want to do. And it will take the amount of time that it takes.
Yes, it looks like her. Julie, I just want to share what Julie audience just shared. She said, yeah, it looks like her. Uh, she has a very defined chin, just like what you drew. So I want to thank you for that confirmation. Perhaps this message is for you to really open up your world and not to have fear.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Sister is she's with you. She is there with you, cheering you on every step of the way. Yeah. And risk, you can take small risks. You don't have to like jump off the mountain all at once, but take small risks here and there. And
Mhm.
have to, like I said, do both for a while because you need to make that income. But your heart work and your spiritual work is just
Mhm.
what you do. It's why you're here. But sometimes we still need to have that other job to make the money.
And don't be afraid to. One of the things that we have issue with this path, Julie, is being afraid to charge.
Yeah,
Being
don't.
afraid to charge, yes. I don't know if you experienced that, but I have experienced this on my path for many, many years before that. I was afraid to charge because I'm doing spiritual work. I'm supposed to help a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be on donation or just free. But then you get burned out because if you start doing what you love and doing full time, how the heck you going to earn income to support yourself when
Right.
you're doing it for free or you're not charging enough? Because that's your time, your energy. And then when you have to do both full time, you're done. And that's what
Right.
happened to me in the past. I quit my spiritual path because I couldn't make it.
You can't
I had to
afford.
work. You can't afford it. And now I even say, you know what? Value yourself. This is an energy exchange.
That's
You
exactly.
still you're still living in this dimension. You still need to pay bills just like everybody else. It's your time. You're giving them something in exchange, and it's valuable. It's priceless,
Yeah. It
right?
is.
Like what Julie's giving to the audience here, sharing the knowledge, sharing what you'd learn, open up your eyes, open up your heart, protection, connecting to the spirit. You are giving something which you should get back. That's of value. We exchange the energy. So I often now teach my student this way. Don't be afraid to charge. Don't be afraid. Just value yourself, because money is just an energy. And it doesn't matter what you charge, it's just going to keep going around in circle. You just have to open up your energy. If you're afraid, you're not going to earn anything. That's the
Right.
way I see it. Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you put time and effort into developing your ability. You can put money into developing your abilities.
Yep.
That time.
And years of investment and all that. Yes. Mhm.
Right. And so and if you don't have an energy exchange, then there's this lack of balance that can really burn you out and make you not want to do it at all. So definitely charge for your time and the value. And people tend to appreciate what they get more when they pay for it.
Exactly. They see the value, they appreciate, they'll be there on time,
Yeah.
and they respect your time. I mean, once there's an equal exchange of respect, money is just an energy. Then, don't be afraid. I think nowadays people start changing, shifting their belief system now, Julie. You know, uh,
And really
we
pay your counselor, you pay your psychologist, you pay your doctor, you pay your lawyer. All of these are services to help people.
exactly. It's the same thing, but when it comes to people who work on a spiritual path, it got switched to no value. Exactly. And then our path, our work can help so many people tremendously.
Right. Well, even the preacher, the pastor at a church gets paid.
But they get donation, but people donate them because it's been programmed that you should donate when you go to the church. But when it comes to this work, which mostly were female,
yeah.
Well, most people who work in our field are mostly 95% of female. Right. So with the kind of feminine work we do, we have been suppressed. So that way, none of us will do this kind of work. This is the way I look at it, right? But it's changing, shifting now. Wow. Let go of people opinions. Exactly. Yes. Spiritual care is no different than therapy or psychology or taking music lesson. Exactly. And other type of healing.
Right.
And learning is very valuable. Exactly, KW. I agree with you totally. You get some value out of it. It's valuable. It's priceless. Yes. So go with that. Definitely let go of people opinion. I totally agree with that. Wow. This is awesome. It's fun. Yes. Julie, what else you got? Because I know it's coming up to an hour and a half now. And I know you must be tired because, it's about 8, 9 p.m. your time. But is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? And one thing, though, I would like to share with the audience, if you would like to connect with Julie, please do. You can message me, or I will put her information under description. Go back to her past video, past clip, because she got a lot of information that she shared, especially when it comes to protection. And there was something else, too, because there was talk between you, Theon, and me. So it was really good.
Yeah, that was a fun show. That was very interesting. I thought it was a great talk with it.
Yes.
And and I have, my website. People can connect with me on my website, and I have some blogs that I write that are on my website. And I offer intuitive life coaching to people where I combine psychology with psychic readings to help people on their path with their goals or trouble spots that they may be having, but it's not therapy. I don't offer therapy. And I do general readings, and I also do paranormal consultations and help people who are having troubles, like the person who said they're hearing someone's not too nice things. So I help people with things like that too.
And then you're a licensed psychologist as well. So
I'm not a licensed therapist, so I have a PhD in psychology, and teaching and research is what I've done. So, but I have a lot of knowledge that I can bring forth into intuitive life coaching, and in combination with the psychic work.
Well, that's a lot of background that you got there. That you can help so many people here. So, Julie, I just want to thank you so much for being here today. This is extremely valuable time. I mean, I'm sure the audience really appreciate, everything that you shared today. Amazing work. Next clip that we're going to come back. We're definitely going to come back, Julie.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, I think we just mentioned that earlier. What was it that we're going to share?
False light guides. We're going to talk about how do you know you're connecting with spirit guides or angels and not someone in disguise.
Awesome. I like that. Who would like to hear this? How do you know if you connect to the real guides, not the false guides or gods? Who would like to hear this? Type 1, because I think I'm going to bring her back to talk specifically about this, because there's a lot of people tend to ask, like, how do you know who I connect? If it's a positive energy or a negative energy. A lot of people do ask that question. Hey, awesome, Barton. Yes.
It can be tricky because a lot of people think, well, if it feels good and I feel loved, then that's a good energy.
Yeah.
Something
So you can feel love with the false guide as well.
Up with the false light guide. So
yes.
you have to be careful. If you're very open, and for people who don't receive like very clear communications, that may not ever be much of an issue for them, but it's important for everyone to know as they are developing and delving into this world that it's not just about light. It's not just about rainbows. There is also darkness, and darkness likes to feed off of people's light.
I totally agree with that. So don't fall for that. And it will be great to hear from Julie, which she's going to share in our next clip. So let's do that next time, you guys. I intend to have Julie come back on a regular basis with also, Theon too. Go ahead and listen to the last clip we did, and you're gonna love that clip. That was a fun one. I really liked what you guys shared last time too. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Theon to come in today, but she probably will join next time when she can. But hey, just Julie alone is already a lot of fun. Didn't you guys have fun though? I typed 2, guys. You had fun. She's very, very amazing psychic medium here. You want to connect with her, please do go ahead and connect with her. You can message me, or you can look under. I'm going to put her information under the description after this. I wasn't able to put earlier. I'm not sure if I put. I think I put it already, so look under the description. There you go. Thank you so much. So Julie, people are thanking you for all this knowledge and the reading. I know someone asked for a reading, but I'm so sorry about that. We didn't have time. We only did one reading today, and we don't have enough time for that because, that's coming up to the 2 hours mark already. So anyway, Julie,
and
lovely. Yes, go ahead.
And next time, maybe we could do some flower readings.
Ooh, who would like to get flower reading, guys? Okay, type different number 5. How about that? I was just thinking about this flower that has a 5. I don't know what kind of flower is that has is it sunflower? Not sunflower. It has 5 leaves. It's not even flower. It's a leaf. Is that what it is? Irish. When we have Saint.
Oh, a clover. Like
yes, clover. I was thinking about that. Clover. I don't know why that image came up. Yes. So we're gonna do that. We already got audience who would love to get that flower reading. I think it'll be fun. I mean, you are so gifted with the flower reading. So
it's easier to tap in to do the flower readings because sometimes it's a little more difficult to tap into the spirits because not all the spirits want to communicate, or there's just so many that it's
sometimes there's a lot of energy to here too, Julie. This is what happened. We get a lot of people here. So you talk about a lot of energy and you really have to tune in and focus, tap into a specific spirit. So it's it's not easy work, and you're just so amazing to be able to just pick up the energy of this young lady. So bravo to you. I'm impressed. Yes. So let's do this, Julie. We're gonna come back again. Just make sure you subscribe my channel so you have that what state that she's gonna come on next, and also Theon too. She's gonna call. Maybe both of you can draw flowers together. And see if they match. And, I think it will be fun, both of you. Yeah.
That's always
maybe
fun.
I can join too. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, guys, please share this video. Please, you have your website. I mean, you have your website, but do you have YouTube or you have any social media, Julie?
I have Facebook. I have Instagram. I also have YouTube. I haven't done much on YouTube yet, but I'm about to start doing more on YouTube.
Well, next time, make sure you add destination on this live so people then will know how to join your YouTube. But guys, look up Julie Parker on Facebook, on YouTube, and I'm gonna post her description too under this video, so
Right.
you can connect with her if you would like to have a private drawing, which I highly recommend because it's specific and she can focus on
Yeah.
your reading. Like I said earlier, I just for those who just step in, this picture, this drawing by Julie Parker was a wow to me. I give her over 100% of the accuracy, and I have shown earlier that no one has ever given me a mediumship reading like this, where she directly connect right. I mean, it could have been my dad who just passed away. I think you gave me a reading in 2022. My dad passed away in 2020. My mom passed away in 2006. I thought you probably would connect it to my dad who just passed a couple of years before. But no, she connected to my mom, whom I was very close to, you know, and with this image, to me, I'm like, yep, she got my mom for sure, without doubt.
Oh,
You want to know why? Listen to the clip, this video. In the beginning, I share the detail of why I felt she got all evidence that my mom's spirit was with me, hands down. Hands down, amazing, amazing. So highly recommend you connect with her if you would need to connect with anyone. Anything
uh,
else before we end this talk, Julie?
yeah, they can. If anybody wants to follow me on social media, I've got that link to my website too. So my website's a good place to go and see what I have on my blogs. I'll be posting some more blogs here pretty soon too.
Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, yes, thank you to all of you. Lots of love, lots of hugs, and thank you for being here. Please come back again with different talk. I will be having a different live talk with astrologer, channeler, chi channel, angels. So we'll have a roundtable talk too with different speakers. So it is going to be fun on my channel. So go ahead and subscribe my channel if this is your first time. Go ahead and share. Love to have you guys share my channel and subscribe. So with that said, Julie, I want to thank you so much for being here today. I know we couldn't get Theon to come in, so I'm glad that you still came on and shared these beautiful messages, from the spirits, and how, little tips that you share with the audience, how to connect with the spirit is lovely. And we'll see you again next time.
Okay, I look forward.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And everyone, thank you so much for being here. Lots of love. Happy New Year 2004, 24, 2004, 2024. Have a blessed new year, and see you again on the next live. Thank you, Julie. You have a
Thank you.
good night. Yes, Happy New Year to you too.
Good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes.